They told you humanity is controlled by politics, by money, by fear. But those are only the surface chains. Humanity has always been controlled, not at the mind, but at the core of life itself, sexual energy. Not because it is sinful, not because it is dirty, because sexual energy is the ignition system of human evolution. The intelligence that creates life is the same intelligence that awakens consciousness. So if you fracture that current, you fracture the human. And once you fracture the human, you never need chains again. Religion veiled it in shame. Society turned it into entertainment. Spirituality dreamt about it without grounding. But this force was never meant to be worshipped. It was meant to be trained. A civilization that has no idea what sexual energy is will never realize what it was designed to become. People think they're free. They're not. Their nervous system is exhausted. Their identity is porous. Their presence collapses under pressure. And they wonder why awakening feels unreachable. It's not because they're blocked. It's because their core power supply is being drained. Sexual energy isn't lust. It isn't fantasy. It isn't spiritual romance. Sexual energy is biological voltage. It is creation current built into human architecture. The same force that forms a human being in the womb is the same force that can awaken consciousness in adulthood. When this current unlocks, you don't find peace. You take your seat. Your heart becomes sovereign. Your perception stops lying. Your field stops leaking. And your very presence becomes an atmosphere. This is not spirituality. This is power, remembered. And this is why systems fear it. Because when sexual energy becomes coherent, a human stops chasing validation, stops collapsing into shame, stops leaking their worth, stops feeding systems with their nervous system. A sovereign nervous system cannot be manipulated. A coherent human cannot be controlled. So the world made a decision. If you can't remove power, confuse it, shame it, exploit it, monetize it, call addiction freedom, call stimulation liberation, call exhaustion normal life, and make sure nobody remembers what this force really is. But here's what they never wanted you to remember. Sexual energy isn't optional in awakening. It isn't supportive. It isn't symbolic. It isn't accessory. It is the engine. When this current rises coherently, the heart enters stability. The nervous system settles into strength. The mind becomes sharp without tension. Your field organizes. Your perception refines. Your sense of self roots into something real and unwavering. Awareness isn't something you reach for anymore. It's something that stands inside you. This is not philosophy. This is what the body knows when it's no longer leaking power. This is divine engineering built into flesh. Most people never consciously work with this current, not because they don't have access to it, but because they can't hold it. We live in a world numb to the body, disconnected from sensation. And the moment this force begins to rise, most people panic, collapse, and dump it. Not because it's sinful, because they don't yet carry the fortitude to contain divinity in motion. So the body leaks, the emotions leak, the mind leaks. Compulsion takes over, and what could have become ascension fuel becomes energetic waste. This isn't repression, and it isn't indulgence. It's capacity. The work is not to escape the fire, but to remain with it without collapsing, without dramatizing, without spilling it into emptiness. That is the difference between power that leaks and power that becomes you. So, no, sexual energy isn't dangerous. Unconscious sexual energy is destabilizing. The issue isn't desire. The issue isn't attraction. The issue isn't hunger. The issue is when power moves through wounds, through addiction, through fantasy, through emptiness. Because whatever state you're in, sexual energy amplifies it. If you're grounded, it amplifies presence. If you're fragmented, it amplifies chaos. If you're numb, it amplifies disconnection. And if you're awake, it ignites awakening. This is why ancient traditions guarded it. This is why modern culture doesn't just ignore this energy. It desecrates it. It takes what is sacred and turns it into entertainment, distraction, and currency. This is why most spirituality dilutes it. Because if humanity ever remembers that the body is divine technology, and sexual energy isn't entertainment, it is ascension fuel, everything changes. Not metaphorically, literally, biologically, energetically, consciously. Because the second this current stabilizes, humans stop being programmable. Does sexual energy awaken you? Yes. When it is coherent, when it is embodied, when it runs through truth, not compulsion. Sexual energy is not symbolic spirituality. It is identity ignition. It forces the human template to stop pretending it is small and start operating as what it truly is, a divine intelligence wearing flesh. And when this current rises correctly, you don't believe differently. You see differently. Reality feels different. Choice feels different. Presence feels undeniable. Sexual energy isn't powerful because it's intense. It's powerful because it evolves. It changes as you change. At its lowest expression, it behaves like craving. Raw, instinctual, chaotic, impatient. But when it is cultivated, when it stops leaking through impulse, when it stops being handled like entertainment, it begins to transform. The chemistry of the body changes. The nervous system stops shaking. The field becomes denser, clearer, more precise. Desire turns into electricity. Electricity turns into coherence. Coherence turns into presence. This is alchemy, not fantasy, not tantra aesthetics, not spiritual theater. This is a living force maturing inside a human being, and as it matures, it stops reaching for escape and begins building a kingdom within the flesh. The self grows roots. Clarity replaces confusion, sight becomes cleaner, and the storm in the heart learns stillness. This current doesn't simply give you energy, it restructures you. It reorganizes your system around truth instead of hunger, and that's why cultivated sexual energy feels different. It doesn't feel like fire anymore. It feels like power, calm, quiet, undeniable, a force that no longer needs to prove itself, because it is finally seated where it always belonged, inside you instead of chasing the world. And that level of coherence cannot be governed by shame, by guilt, by corporations, by systems, by illusions. Only truth. Most people don't fail spiritually because they gave up. They fail because their foundation was hijacked, because the one force designed to awaken them was turned against them, turned into addiction, turned into shame, turned into distraction, turned into business. So of course, humanity feels lost. We live in a world where the strongest force in the human body is either demonized or monetized. And then, we ask why evolution stalled. You don't fix this by suppressing it. You don't fix it by drowning in it. You fix it by remembering its purpose. And when that remembrance returns, the nervous system doesn't weaken. It becomes sovereign. The mind doesn't drown. It becomes sharp. The heart doesn't become sentimental. It becomes command. This is what systems fear, not rebellion. Remembrance, not chaos, but coherence. Not louder humans, sovereign humans. Sexual energy was never meant to be suppressed. It was never meant to be consumed. It was meant to awaken you, to turn the body back into what it truly is: divine technology, voltage, agency, presence. And when this force rises correctly, nothing owns you, nothing manipulates you, nothing decides your worth. Because you are no longer fragmented, you live lit.